Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Builder Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 180 today and we finish our final ever Champions League group stage campaign against the old foe Raith Rovers, a side that have had a meteoric rise just like us, and it's fitting that we get to play them in the last season really. They've got a manager that's been in charge less than 12 months, a new manager since we last faced them, and Raith Rovers are going to try and give us the test, but it won't, I'm afraid, be a reunion with Greg Pringle. From the team news at the top, he's doubtful for this one, very unlikely to be involved. Unfortunately, we've probably seen the last of him already. We'll also reflect on what I think is a bit of disappointment for Welsh football, but still a little seed of hope. As well as one team doing okay in Europe, we've also got a big January transfer window ahead of us. Can the club save it now, having had some football in Europe, having got that money again? Can we see something big? We'll wait and see. If you're looking forward to finding out, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily videos every weekday from this series till the end of the season. And this weekend is the start of the FM22 announcements and content. So come and get involved with that. I'm looking forward to the new game. I hope you are too. We're going to have loads of stuff to come on the channel. So please do turn that notification bell on to make sure you don't miss a beat. And you can see, looking at the Welsh Premier League table at the moment, there is a little bit of disappointment. Colwyn Bay have now caught up in games, but nowhere near in terms of points. They're starting to fall away again. Barrytown United and TNS have games in hand, but they're miles off. It's so disappointing. But still, there's some positives on our front. So let's go and have a look at the schedule. You were with me as we won 4-0 at home to RB Salzburg in the last episode. We followed that up with a 5-0 win at Llanelli Town in a quarter-final of the League Cup. 1 for Nathan Roberts, 2 for Gordon and 2 for Walters. Against TNS in the league, it was 1 for Kian Bulkley and 2 for Bojan Kvara. The reverse fixture against Salzburg, arguably even better. Possibly our best performance of the season, 4 goals in the last half an hour as we ran away with it. In the end, it was 2 for Kvara, 2 for Kyo Bulkley and 1 for Dion Simmons. A 3-0 victory against Kefan Druids, Kvara and 2 for Kian Bulkley this time. A 3-1 win against Falkirk in the SPFL Trust Trophy quarters. That was in the international break, a very rotated side. But 2 for Walters, 1 for Gordon. Both actually coming back to form this year, which is nice to see. A 4-0 victory away at Carmarthen, 2 for Kvara, 1 for Fletcher and 1 for Gordon. A 3-0 victory at Colwyn Bay, Kian Bulkley, Gethin Davis and Lloyd Golding with the goals there. Then a disappointing 0-0 draw at home to Ajax in a Champions League. One for the fact that we couldn't sell it out, which really frustrates me. That's a sign of the things going backwards like I mentioned. But also the performance, we just didn't take our chances. In the end, late on we relied on our defence a bit. We bounced back in style though, a 7-0 victory against Bala, 2 for Kvara, a hat-trick for Gordon and 1 each for Tom Jones and Gethin Davis. And in a 4-2 win in the Welsh Cup, we had a scare here against Aberystwyth. We went behind in the first minute, but we did bounce back with 4 goals. Kane Walters, Tom Jones, Marcus Reddy and Lloyd Gordon with them. Now the reason you've seen the likes of Tom Jones and Kane Walters have a bit of a renaissance is mainly because of a lack of players. We've had injuries at the same time to Gomez Garcia, Nathan Roberts and to Kyo Bulkley in centre midfield. All basically missed 3 or 4 weeks in the last month. And it's made it very difficult for us to compete consistently in all competitions. And that's sort of what you saw in the Welsh Cup there. You see the likes of Josh Ridd and Ruben Bates outside of an international break having to come off the bench. It did lead to a slightly difficult situation, but we're getting them back gradually now and I think we've got a chance of doing well. We're going away to Raith Rovers, who unfortunately are going to be without Greg Pringle. He's got a pulled abdominal muscle. He doesn't look greatly fit. And to be honest, he is starting to decline now at 29. Just losing a little bit of that physical edge. Still a brilliant player technically and mentally, but he's not quite what he once was. So in terms of rating for the club, he's not actually as well rated as Kvara, which shows you that he is dropping back a little bit. So we're going to get through that one, but first we've got to have a look at what's been going on for the other Welsh clubs in Europe, because that is just as big a part of this final season. And we'll start with Barrytown United, who obviously finished second last year. And some of you think that it's maybe a bit of a big deal that I berate TNS for not finishing second. One, they should be with the financial position they're in and the fact they were pro from the start. But more importantly, you're about to see how much it harms us, because when Barrytown United are the side representing us in second place, we get disappointed. They'd lost to Linfield both times. They then lost again to PSV. They have got 0 points from 5 games. It's embarrassing. And unfortunately, despite being in the Europa League, they're not going to make it through in any competition whatsoever. Let's move on to TNS, who of course dropped into the Europa Conference this year. And that's worked out quite nicely for them because despite a defeat away at Lugano, they have been utterly brilliant, really. 12 points out of 15. They've won the group with a game to spare. TNS looking pretty good, but unfortunately, they've now picked up an injury to Aid Tate, who is their top scorer in Europe so far. I'm sure he will have recovered though by February, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Colwyn Bay are the fourth club, and, well, I don't know what to say really. Disappointment. They did get the win away in Iceland, but it's not enough. They're already out with a game to spare. And although they could beat TSC and help the coefficient, the damage was done early in the group. If they'd actually won that game at home to the Icelandic side, they'd have a chance of getting through into this one. But as it is, not to be. Disappointing to say the least. We're not really seeing that continuous development across Welsh football. We're not seeing the progression we were hoping for. But there are a few little signs that we might still get something special this year. TNS should go straight into the last 16 of the Europa Conference. They can invest in January and get a lucky draw. You just never know. And we're going into the last 16 of the Champions League. We're unbeaten. We've got 13 points. But look at Raith Rovers. They have always found a way to sneak through and recover this year. And they've done the same again. They're up to 6 points with a game remaining. And to be honest, no matter what happens here, they're going to be in Europe after Christmas. And that for them is a chance to win another Europa League or to really progress further. And they are the side that have probably achieved in this save more than we have. They're a side that started with similar problems. They were in a second tier in Scotland. They were struggling a little bit. You can see actually, it took them, 5 years to get promoted. They were mid-table, then worked their way up. And eventually, they've got themselves to title winners and title winners again last season. They are a wonderful side. They're stealing players left, right and centre. They've got Greg Pringle. They've got Ahmet Bektas in the squad. I was hopefully played today, but apparently he's not registered for the Champions League because that's another reunion we would have quite liked to have. But Raith Rovers probably been the story of this save. I think they've achieved more than us. They've won a Europa League. They've got a new 24,000-seater stadium. They've got incredible facilities. They've done everything right. It's an incredible story and one in the end we were a little bit unable to match. The other slight thing I wanted to show you, we'll take a big look when we get into the bookmark. Sheffield Wednesday in the Champions League. They finished 4th in the Premier League. They got taken over by a tycoon after the first season. They had a few yo-yo years, but now they've just been gradually getting better and better. And this season, they've been in the Champions League. I'm not sure how they've done. They've had a horrible group. Milan, Atletico Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain. But it looks like they've got, 2, 5, 8 points with a game to spare. In fact, they've played their last game now, so they've gone through in second place. That's one hell of an achievement. So Sheffield Wednesday ones to watch out for as well. For us, though, the final Champions League group stage game is a chance for us to put some real gloss on our season so far. And also a chance for us to help the Welsh coefficient. Because alongside TNS, we're flying the flag again. There's not many of us left and we've got to stay ahead. So we've got ourselves up to 6 points as a nation this year. Austria getting further away rather than getting closer to us. So I think it's fair to say 10th is the limit of the ambitions. And when we do that 5 years in the future episode, I'll be really interested to see what's happened here because I think it will have dropped like a stone. I hope to be proven wrong though. Let's go and get into our Raith Rovers game. A big chance to get a victory in Scotland. A short journey, which is always a good thing. Let's see the 11 we've gone for here. Kyo Bulkley just coming back to fitness. Gomez Garcia the same, but I couldn't play both of them. So Bulkley starts, Garcia's on the bench. No sign, I'm afraid, of Nathan Roberts just yet. What that means is our 11 is Simancas between the sticks, Fletcher and Simmons the fullbacks. Simmons also had an injury for a few weeks. He's just coming back the last couple of games. Jennings alongside Briones at centre-half. Mubarak Whelan suspended, so Oderlin in a holding role. Reyes, Reddy and Bulkley the rest of the midfield diamond. And then I have gone for Kean Bulkley alongside Bojan Kvara up front. I've resigned myself to the fact he's going in January. He's willing to sign a new deal for $27.5 million release clause. I'll probably do it at the end of the month just to get us an extra couple of million. But I'm afraid at the moment, with Greg Pringle declining and not being worth a swap deal, and with Kean Bulkley not willing to budge on that minimum fee release, if we try and offer a contract, well, I was going to say he wouldn't sign one without that minimum fee release and a stepping stone, but he's not willing to discuss one at all now because there's interest in him and the window's about to open. We've maybe lost our chance and we'll lose him for 24 million. Something he's nearly worth as much as that anyway, and he's a Welsh international. There is no chance we get to keep him. In terms of our squad for today, though, I have dropped Tom Jones out. He's played loads of football recently. Gordon, the top scorer, sits on the bench because we've got to get Kean Bulkley in the side while he's here. Gordon needs as much rest as possible. He's 30 years of age. So Bulkley and Kvara line up front. It's going to be a difficult test. With players coming back to fitness, I feel we're just turning a corner. And actually, if the injuries are in the first half of the year, maybe they're fit when we need them later in the season. And here we go, a Raith Rovers team that have become familiar to us over the years. Greg Pringle is on the bench, so it might not be over just yet. We might still get to see him, and at the very least we can go and shake his hand. Damien Ruddock, the skipper in goal, has been a thorn in our side before. So let's see what happens when we head to Scotland for our final Champions League group stage game. Don't forget, Raith have got everything to play for. A win gets them through. A draw might get them through. A defeat probably sends them out of the Champions League. Ajax already up to second with the lead. So now Raith have got big pressure. We've dropped to balanced as Kvara loses the ball left side of the box and is cleared downfield to Gay, who finds Martins on the right. He has caused us chaos in the past. Gives it to Gay again. Back to the centre half Hardy. Long ball over the top. The defence has vanished. Fletcher can't get there to close it down. Gay cuts it back. Rimmer's shot blocked. Fletcher clears away. It's a corner kick to Raith Rovers. As I was saying, they have got all the pressure on them. It's a massive game for them to win. For us, we lose and still top the group, so some of these players might switch off. We'll see what happens as Simancas gathers the corner. Now, can we counter-attack them? Certainly not happening at speed, is it? Briones finds Jennings. Shorter centre-half, he's got Fletcher out wide. Him and Mubarak Whelan both ended their unhappiness, as so often happens. Puts Kean Bulkley in, it's a brilliant through ball. I just need a finisher up there. And I know that we've said it in the comments, Kean Bulkley is going to become a phenomenal player. I doubt none of you with that. And he already is a very good one. But he's not got that killer poacher's instinct that a Gordon or a Walters have. He's not as good a finisher. He's not as composed. And he's not even as quick on the counter. He's probably not my type of striker, but considering that, he's done pretty well for himself. 20 minutes gone, we're dominating the match just as we did at home. But we haven't yet got the lead, and that's the big difference. As Kaya Bulkley, big free kick, comfortably wide. No brilliant chances, and it was a problem we had against Ajax too, so I'm hoping it's not going to become a trend. Well, it's certainly calmed down now. 5 minutes to the break, not an awful lot happening, though we are back for a Raith corner with Martins. Reddy heads away well. Good having him in midfield, like having an extra centre-half there. Particularly when you're defending set pieces, though that's awful defending. Simancas does brilliantly, smothers the ball. But I'm not sure where the back four disappeared to there. As Briones gets the ball from the short rollout, plays it to Simmons at right back. Got options down the line, but plays short to Reyes. Simmons overlapping again if he can find him. Reyes decides to go alone, flying down the right wing here. Not been rated as well by the assistant the last couple of years, but delivered performances still as Simmons crosses to Kvara. And on the stroke of half time we lead. 21 for the season. Simmons delivers the cross. And finally, we get what we deserved. Been a good first half performance. It's starting to make me smile. A really good display so far. 1-0 away at Raith Rovers with very good value for it at the break. So we'll tell the lads to keep it up. We'll get into the second half. And if it's still 1-0 after 15, we'll make some changes later on. Well, we're not even going to get to wait that long. 11 minutes in and Odell has picked up a knock. I have two choices here. I can put Jennings in the middle and bring on young Hector Leon at centre-half, who's a really good wonder kid. Or I can bring on the experienced, at 22 I say in our squad, but a slightly more familiar name of Jack Chapman in the holding role. Came in the summer, has done really well when he's played, in fairness to him. But I think I'm going to go for Leon because what have we really got to lose? Yes, it would be a disappointment if we lost this game, but it's not going to cost us anything. So we might as well give the wonder kid some football. Let's take Marcus Reddy off as well because he's struggling physically. Gomez Garcia back to fitness. And I'll save the last 10 more minutes. And then probably we have to give Kaya Bulkley a rest because he's not had much football at all. Well, 20 minutes to go. Perfect timing. Gethin Davis will come on in number 10 role. In the meantime, no, Raith have a free kick. Nodded down for Salimi. The back four. I know we've got a clean sheet again today. But this hasn't been our usual containing performance. It hasn't been efficient defensively. There's a couple of times they've been in with 3-on-1. We've got away with it a little bit. Though Pringle's on the pitch. He's come off the bench against us. Is he going to harm us again? He's scored plenty against us since leaving the club. Pringle gets in. That is absolutely stunning. Maybe the swap deal's not off. Do you know what? I'm going to try it after this episode. Bulkley for Pringle, straight swap, see what happens. It's 1-1, and do you know what? I'm almost pleased he scored. It's a fitting way for us to finish against Raith, and it's a fitting way for us to finish against Greg Pringle. As Simmons runs down the right-hand side, beats his man, but again just checks back a little there. Kean Bulkley picks it up, finds Simmons. He can cross, but goes back to Reyes. Chance to deliver. Davis is in there, as is Kavara. Think the flag's going to go up. I'm not sure it was him that was off, but the assistant referee judges it to be offside, as the ball is picked up 30 yards out for a free kick. In fact, it's not even that far. Gethin Davis will take it. Left-footed. That is stunning. Gethin Davis, you absolute beauty. Probably not had as much football as he deserves in this save, but a player we signed for what, less than 2 million from Swansea, I think? And he's been getting offers this summer of 25, 30 million from Brighton and Brentford. Is a wonderful player, as another free kick is poorly defended by Bangor City. Salimi gets it on the right to Speyer. Crosses block. Jennings back to Leon, who hoofs downfield. Kavara and Bulkley have got a 2-on-1. They've got to score here. Kean Bulkley's in, and he hits the post. Oh, Kean, what is wrong with you, son? Kavara picks it up to Jennings. Chance to go wide, instead finds Fletcher, and he can switch it to the right to Simmons. Can we get a third? Put a bit of gloss on it. It deserves it. It's been a really good performance, actually. With 3 minutes to go, Raith Rovers still have a chance. They've got the ball on the right with Aspinall to Baldy. Into Rimmer. Through ball to Pringle. Don't you dare. Gay gets it on the edge of the box. We were happy to see him score. We don't want him scoring another. Into the box. Reyes hoofs clear. Kean Bulkley flicks down for Kavara. Now can he score? Kavara's in. Kavara shoots wide. Looked like the defender had a good handful of his shirt there. But in the end, it remains 2-1. We've got 5 minutes of stoppage time to defend our lead. Gethin Davis not able to get the ball there. Gay brings it away. Pringle switches right to Hardy. He's got an overlap on the right back, but still Aspinall coming forward down the middle. Drifts wide, puts it into Pringle. Good header from Simmons. Falls for Donnelly to Rimmer. To Donnelly! Hits the post from miles out. Aspinall right side of the box. Back to Speyer. Good block by Jennings, and it's cleared away by Kellen Fletcher. Can he carry it? There's 5, there's 6 in support of this counter-attack. There's 7 men up. But it's taken out for a throw-in. It's a good challenge on Fletcher. Probably should have released the ball a lot quicker there. As Fletcher throws into Jennings, Gay challenges him. Balls for Hector Leon. He gives it to Fletcher again. Can we get the ball forward? I don't really want to be playing 2-on-2 on halfway at this stage. Aspinall's nicked it off Leon just as I said it. It's exactly what we foresaw. Aspinall shoots. It's into the bottom corner. And Raith Rovers nick it late on. And it's been a really uncharacteristic defensive display, as was the last game against Aberystwyth actually. A little bit of a concern. But defensively, we were all over the shop. We give it away on halfway. We leave a 2-on-2. And Raith Rovers deservedly nick the point. We finish on 14. We drop coefficient points again. But again, we end the Champions League group stage unbeaten. We finish at top of the group. I mean, we can't really complain in the grand scheme of things. Let's go and see how the other Welsh sides get on Thursday night. Can TNS finish in style? And can the others at least give us some coefficient support? Right, 11 o'clock on Thursday night. Mubarak Whelan's still improving the Wonder Kid, but let's have a look at how the 3 Welsh sides got on. TNS were already through, but they lost their final game. They're really not helping us this season. Barry Town United finally got a point. Do you know what that shows me? They were capable of winning a home game and just didn't turn up. And if they had, with a group with them in and Linfield, they could have got through or at least got third. I'm so frustrated with them. Colwyn Bay, they got a point as well. So at least a slight help to the coefficient. Hopefully it will have grown very slightly since we were last here. It has gone up to 7.6. So we've overtaken Turkey for the year. And we've started to catch Austria a bit. And we're actually ahead of Holland this year, which is a bit bizarre. But we've still got no real chance of catching them. Just a nice way to finish the groups. TNS letting it down though. They need to be back on form in February. That's how important A Tate is to them. For us though, let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. Unfortunately, the Champions League draw isn't till after the Newtown game, so we can't see it today. However, we are going to be back this time for what I hope will be a League Cup final in mid-January. The final season, I want to show us winning every trophy. I want to show every final. And as long as we don't get shocked by Cardiff Met Uni, we'll have that in the middle of January. We'll also have a big look at our youth intake preview, the final one of the series. And I'm crossing my fingers for a massive January transfer window in Welsh football because there needs to be one, particularly from TNS. if they're going to compete in the latter stages of the Conference League, which they are capable of doing, by the way. So that's what we're going to be back for. After that, it will be Champions League and European action all the way through until we're knocked out. We'll hopefully get to finish on a little Welsh Cup final as well. So if you're looking forward to all of that and you did enjoy this episode, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 videos from this story till the end of the season. And of course at the weekends, loads of FM22 announcements and channel updates to come. So turn that notification bell on to stay up to date. Follow us on Twitch for regular live streams as soon as the beta releases. And hopefully I'll see you next time for a January transfer window to remember, as Welsh football has to deliver in our final transfer window before the end of the save. Cross your fingers, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.